Hello students, today we are going to start a new chapter, that is separation of substances. In this chapter we are going to talk about how to separate the substances. Substances means separate means if there is a mixture of material, we need to separate the two things. For example, you can see in this diagram, what do you observe? There is a person handling a kettle tea who is pouring the tea through the strainer, and the liquid is getting accumulated or collected into a cup, and all the solid particles, they are being left out in this strainer. In the same way, here also you can see there is the strainer in which the solid particle is staying above in the strainer itself and the liquid is in below. These kinds of many examples you can see in your day-to-day life. So regarding that, only in this chapter we are only going to talk about how to separate the substances, okay, in different way. First of all, we need to know what kind of things to be separated. The mixtures, the word come here is the mixture. What is a mixture? Mixture is the combination of two or more substances. So when two or more substances are in a group or they are joined together, they are called as the mixtures. Okay, and they consist of different substances. Mainly they are mixed physically but not chemically combined, means they are physically mixed. For example, there is rice and inside rice there is stone. Okay, so rice and stone, they can be by hand picking, we can separate it. So that means they are physically mixed, not chemically, means we do not have to use another methods to separate them. Okay, in this way they do not have well defined specific properties and the substances can be easily separated from a mixture by the physical method. From the simple methods only, all these kinds of mixtures or the substances which are mixed with another one, they can be separated. First of all, you need to know what are the mixtures. For example, this is a salt. If in this salt there is small amount of sand, that means it contains the impurity. Salt with impurities is an example of mixture. In the same way, second example, you can see this is water and alcohol. Can you see over here? Water and alcohol are mixed together. So this is also an example of mixture. Here you can see there is lemon squash mixture. What do you mean by lemon squash mixture? In this, what are the things involved? Sugar is there, water is there, and lemon is there. All three things are mixed together to form a lemon squash, or you can say lemon juice also. So this is also a mixture and this is also a kind of a mixture. So you understood? Here is the mixture of two impurities and here is the mixture of more than two impurities. Mixtures can also be in two form. Okay, this mixture can be in two form. One is called as the mixture and one is called as the solution. So we will understand what is a mixture and what is a solution. If the parts can be seen easily and removed, that means, for example, in a water, if you add marbles, okay, marbles or small pebbles, so you can see that in the water there is marble. So when we can see it and easily remove it, they are called as the mixture. But when the solutions means the liquid forms, okay, when all the solutions are mixtures but solutions are evenly mixed. For example, if you mix salt into the water, can you see this example? Salt and water. What happens? The salt completely gets dissolved. Dissolved means completely get mixed into the water and you cannot see the salt in the water. So these kinds of things are called as the solutions. Can you understand it? The liquid materials, okay, in the water, if something gets completely dissolved, that would be called as solution. If in a mixture the components can be seen, they are called as the mixtures. Now we need to know why do we need to separate the things. Number one is to obtain two different but useful components, to remove non-useful components, to remove impurities or harmful components, or to group substances into different sizes. So if somebody asks you why is it important to separate substances, you need to know all these 4 points. Here you can see separation process, purpose of the separation, and what is done with the separated component. We are going to study about it. Okay, so here you can see first example is given: separate stones from the rice. At home also you bring the rice and you take out the stones. Why do we separate? To separate two different but useful components. Rice is a useful component. To take the useful component, we are separating it. And second one, what do we do with the separated one? We throw away the solid component. If there is rice and if there is stone, what do? You will throw away the stone and you will make use of only the rice. Second one is churning of milk to obtain butter. Okay, from churn milk, if you churn it out, you will get butter. So what do? To remove non-useful components. Okay, what is the non-useful components? We throw away the impurities. Whatever the impurities during this process occurs, we throw away those impurities. In the same way, separate tea leaves. To remove the impurities or harmful components, this is the example of that. We use both the component. For example, for drinking tea, we drink the tea, and whatever the tea leaves that is separated, it can be used as a fertilizer or it can be used as a manure for the plant. So both are the useful components and we use both. So here are some of the methods of separating substances. Can you see this one? How will I separate? There are sometimes so many questions how to separate. So these are the various methods of separation: hand picking, threshing, winnowing, sieving, sedimentation and decantation, filtration, evaporation, distillation, sublimation, magnetic separation method, and separating funnel method. Today we are only going to talk about these four: hand picking, threshing, winnowing and sieving. Rest we will be studying later. So can you see here the various pictures over here? Can you see this one? First one, hand picking stone from the grains. What do the people do? They take the grains or the rice and they will remove the stone from the grains. Second one is threshing. What he is doing? He is taking the stalks of this wheat and he is just he is hitting hard on the rock. So to remove the grains away and the stalks separately. Next one is winnowing. Okay, can you see this lady? She is putting the grains into the soup. Okay, this soup, when she shakes it in the presence of the air, the husk particles are getting separated on side and all the seeds are getting collected over here. This process is called as winnowing. Next one is pebbles and stones are removed from sand by sieving. This is sieving process. You must have seen in the construction places, pebbles and the cement. Okay, what they are doing, they are sorry, not cement, sand. Pebbles and the sands, they are getting separated using this, with the help of this sieve. In the same way, flour by pouring sieve. If you having any atta with the impurities, what do? You will use the sieve and you will separate these two mixtures. So first method is hand picking. Okay, in hand picking, what should be the very important thing that you have to remember, that is, first of all, hand picking is the component of solid mixture. Whenever there is solid mixture, then only hand picking process can be obtained. Next one is, this is only useful when the particles are large enough in size. Okay, if it is very small, then this hand picking method cannot be used. When the particles are large and there is the mixture of only solid, then only this method can be used. For example, rice and dal, separating pebbles from rice and dal. Okay, you do at your home also. Separating grass from the mint leaves. In between the mint leaves, if there is some grass is there, you can remove that. Then next one is separating parts of the salad. For example, in a plate salad, in a salad you can see cucumber, carrot, radish, onion. If you want any specific item, you by hand picking it, you can select your item and you can separate it. Here also the same thing, it is written in hand picking, we can separate it by our hand itself. Okay, and they are large enough to be seen. Okay, this is very important. Hand picking, they can be separated by hand picking, and if the impurities are large enough, then only we can separate. And what are the examples? Rice or dal, pebbles from rice or dal, separating grass from the mint leaves, and separating parts of salad. Here you can see in the diagram, can you see, these are the impurities and this lady is separating it from our grains. Even the insects can also be separated from the rice. Okay, and like if there is different color or size, then only we can separate our unwanted materials. Can you see here? Say shape, size or color of the unwanted material is different from that of the useful material. Means if the shape is different, size is different, color is different, then we can separate it from our hand. So the next process is threshing. What is the threshing process? In this method, mostly farmers, they use this one. Okay, this method. What do? They separate the grains from the stalks. What is the grain and what is the stalk? Can you see these bundles lying over here? In this hand, you can see a long stalk, and in the stalk only various grains are present. And when these dried stalks are beaten on this rock, can you see here? Here on the rock or a hard surface, when they are beaten or threshed, what happens? The grains are separated. Grains will separate separately and the stalk will be thrown in another place. Nowadays as we are getting modernized, so in large farms threshing is done by using the threshing machines. Can you see this one? Nowadays these threshing machines are there, but still nowadays also in villages some people they use this threshing method like in ancient time. Can you see these ladies? What are they doing? They have taken the stalks along with the grains and they are hitting it on the surface. All the grains will be like accumulated over here, and then they will keep this aside. Next process is winnowing. Okay, in this winnowing process, what is very important? It is very important to have wind over there. Okay, when there is wind blowing or air blowing, then only this winnowing method of separation can be done. What does happens in this winnowing process? In this winnowing mixture, what happens? It is allowed to fall from a height. The lightened components get separated from the heavier ones because of the wind and air blows. Can you see this lady? She is standing over a stool, okay, and she has taken a soup and she will shake it. Once she will shake it and she will try to drop the grains down here, all the lighter particles, that is husk, जिसको हम भूसा कहते हैं, ठीक है, all the husk particles, it will be blown away and it will be separated here, and all the useful component, that is grains, because they are heavy, they cannot be blown away by the wind, that is why they all will accumulate over here. So this is the another method of separation. So can you see over here? Pour gently. Same thing they have mentioned over here also. Pour gently. We have to pour it very slowly. When you will pour it here, and when the wind will come, so the lighter component, chaff or the stalk, whatever is there, it will be blown away. Why? Because the lighter component only can be blown by the air. And as the seeds are heavier, what will happen? It will not blow away this side, it will fall down straight into our container, and all the grains will be like accumulated over here, and all the shafts will go away and it will form a heap on the other side. Here also you can see the same thing, winnowing process. The girl is doing like that, winnowing process, and this process is being like continued from many past years. So this is to make you understand direction of the wind is in this side, and this is a soup, okay, and these are the husk particles. In Hindi we call it as bhusa, which the cow eats, okay. And what you will get the grain. Why? Because the grain is heavy, that is why it cannot be blown by the air, it cannot be blown by the air, and all the grains will come and make a heap over on the ground, over the mat. So this is how the winnowing process occurs. So in our next topic we are going to study about sieving. What is the sieving and how does the sieving process is done? First of all, you need to understand sieving is used to separate minute particles. Minute particles means when the size of the particles is very small. Okay, in these kinds of things the sieving process is done. Second thing that you have to remember is we have different size sieves, okay, and it is used to separate different types of mixture containing minute particles, okay, and this device contains the holes, okay, tiny holes, and separates unwanted elements. For example, you can see in this diagram and this diagram, these two are the sieves, but this is a smaller sieve and this one is the bigger sieve, Okay, this bigger sieve, what does it do? It will separate the pebbles from the sand, and this one, it will separate only the impurities from the atta or the flour. For example, I am telling you, we have different kinds of sieve. Some sieve, they can have small minute holes. Okay, and these type of small minute holes, what can be separated? It can be separated, what can be separate? Flour and any kinds of impurities we can separate. But if the sieve has the bigger holes, okay, if the sieve has the bigger holes, can you separate this atta and impurities through this? Obviously not. Why? Because all the atta or the impurities, sorry, I'm saying atta is also flour. Okay, this flour will drop down and both will not be separated. So according to the mixture size of the mixture, we need to use the different size of the sieve. Yeah, you can say different tiny holes containing sieve, we have to use it. So that's it all for today. We'll be meeting up in our next video. Bye bye, students.